Okay, we'll start tonight's meeting. City Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilmember Gerson?
Present.
Councilmember Kaji?
Present.
Councilmember Kalani?
Present.
Councilmember Lewis?
Present.
Councilmember Matucci?
Here.
Councilmember Sheikh?
Present.
Mayor Chen?
Present. And now we'll move on to, we're going to go straight to the flag salute. That will be led by Councilman Sheikh and invocation by Councilman Gerson. Please rise.
Thank you, Mayor. Please put your right hand on your heart and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Super short tonight. God, please grant us wisdom and patience and help us guide our community. And God help us and God bless Torrance. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to move on to a couple of announcements I'm going to make. First one will be done by me. As we gathered on this evening to discuss the county's proposal in the upcoming LA County Board of Supervisors hearing scheduled for Tuesday, May 27th, 2025 at 11 a.m. in downtown Los Angeles. I am pleased to share that Torrance Transit will provide complimentary transportation for the community who wish to attend and share their perspectives in person. A bus will depart from the Mary Kay Giordano Regional Transit Center, located at 465 Crenshaw Boulevard on Tuesday, May 27th at 9:45 a.m. We invite residents to park and ride with us, leaving the drive-in to our professionals. We strongly encourage all interested community members to take advantage of this opportunity to engage directly with county leadership, and a sincere thank you to Torrance Transit for offering this valuable service. Councilman Tucci, do you have an announcement as well?
Thank you, Mayor. As the chair of the Ad Hoc Naming of Public Facilities Committee, I want to announce that the scheduled May 27th, 2025 committee meeting is hereby canceled and will be rescheduled for a date uncertain. Apologies for the inconvenience. Notice of cancellation will be posted on the public notice board and the One Meeting public portal shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let's move on to oral communications. There's only one agenda item tonight, but we do still have to allow oral communications. This portion of the meeting is reserved for comments on items under the consent calendar, which there isn't any, or items not on the agenda. So there's only one item on the agenda. So under Ralph and Brown Act, we cannot act on items that's not on the agenda. So do we have this, at this moment, do we have any members of the public who wish to make oral communication comments that's not on the one item agenda tonight? Will you please step up to the microphone? You have 1 minute. Remember, item that's not on the agenda. Okay, I wasn't sure if he was coming to talk. All right. I don't see any, so we have concluded oral communications. And now let's go to item 4, administrative matters, which is what I believe we're all here for. Item 4A, discuss and provide direction on the city's position regarding the County of Los Angeles proposed Home Key Plus project at 3525 Torrance Boulevard. City Manager, do you guys have a presentation?
I have some opening remarks, Your Honor. Thank you. Adam Chaparian, City Manager. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. Thank you for convening this special meeting on such short notice. Tonight, we address item 4A regarding county's proposed Home Key Plus project at 3525 Torrance Boulevard. The County Board of Supervisors is scheduled to vote on this matter, as Mayor mentioned, next Tuesday, May 27th. The County and Weingart Center, I do want to correct the record, we had initially mentioned Weingart Foundation. It's the Weingart Center as per an agenda. Proposed converting the extended stay America Hotel into a 120-unit permanent supportive housing facility, part of a $55 million state funding application. While Torrance remains committed to addressing homelessness, with our homeless outreach program housing 84 individuals and reaching over 1,100 individuals during the last 5 years, staff has identified several concerns related to this project for your consideration. Key issues include the concentration. 120 units at one location raises property management and integration concerns. Location, proximity to Del Amo Fashion Center and the core of the city's financial commercial corridor may impact local businesses. Services, increased demand on police, fire, and emergency services without clear county support agreements. Process, no meaningful input from city officials or community stakeholders. Tonight, we seek your direction in adopting an official city position. If approved, staff will prepare and submit a formal letter to County Board of Supervisors before Tuesday's hearing. As stated in the item, Your Honor and Council, staff values our collaborative partnership with LA County on addressing homelessness in Torrance. However, tonight we seek council direction to ensure regional homeless solutions are developed collaboratively with proper local impact consideration, adequate support systems. Staff is available for questions and await directions on this important matter. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And just for a little clarification, because I know there's been some emails in public which thought it was the city council is considering transitioning the extended stay property. Is actually the LA County is taking that up on the agenda, and we decided to have a quick special council meeting so that the community and us could see, we'll get inputs from the community and then determine the action we want to take as suggested by the city
That is
manager.
correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. At this moment, we're going to operate on like we do in a typical city council meeting. I'm going to leave it up to the public at this moment who wish to make a comment about this item on the agenda. If for those who wish to speak, please step up to the microphone. You will have 1 minute. If someone else has already said the same thing that's on your mind, you don't have to come. You could, or you could just come and say, I agree, and just so that we can get as many input as possible. So, City Clerk, Councilwoman Lewis?
Just as a reminder, I believe that the city clerk's office has a hard stop,
Yeah.
so
Understand.
as much as.
Okay. Yeah, we got it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we would have time to enter in our comments as well.
Yeah. City Clerk, did anyone by chance submit comment requests?
I don't know that we had the public portal
Okay.
open. I did not receive a list.
And that's okay. We still could do this live. So for those who wish to make comment, please just step up to the microphone and please adhere to no more than 1 minute so that we could get as many people in as possible. And try to keep the noise down and so that there's we don't disturb each other.
Do I need to identify myself?
You don't have to.
I will anyway. My name is Dave Kupfer. I'm a resident of this area. I have a couple questions I'd like to start off with. First of all, is this a proposal or is this an already done deed?
Mayor Danny Santana, City Manager's Office. The County of Los Angeles is proposing before the board to submit a grant application to the state of California. This is not a done deed. It still requires action by the county, and today's meeting is to allow the public to be able to share concerns with mayor and council before they take an official position.
Thank you. That for the record, I think this is a horrible idea to put it where the current proposal lies. I don't know who or if anyone has done any kind of research on this, but I took the time about 10 minutes before today's meeting to take a look at things. And I drove around the neighborhood. Within a 2 or 3 block radius, there are 3 schools, Victor, West High, and St.
Thank you, sir. Your time is up. We're gonna get the next person in. We got it. You're saying within the close proximity, there are schools, hospitals, and residences. Sir, your time is up. We got it. There are other people who's gonna be speaking. We don't wanna take their time away. So we try not to do two-way communication here because you're eating into your time. Please share with us your comments.
Hello, council members. My name is Dennis Patel at 3531 Torrance Boulevard. I am one of the owner of the Best Western Hotel located immediately next to the Extended Stay of America on Torrance Boulevard that the county has interest in housing the homeless. My family has been in Torrance since 1973 for almost 50 years, and this Best Western is our livelihood. If the extended stay homeless project is allowed on Torrance Boulevard, then there will be serious financial impact in the area. As you know, this area is the heartbeat of Torrance. This area is the heartbeat of Torrance Financial District with high-end hotels, department stores, investment banking firms, retail, hospitals, restaurants, schools, and so on that generates tremendous tax base. So it is too risky to allow homeless housing
Thank you, sir.
including the city of Torrance.
Thank you, sir. Sir, your time is up. We got it. We got it. We're just trying to get as many people in. I think we got your message. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Ben Rosen. I work at the Weingart Center, one of the proposers of this development. And I just want to clarify a few things, and also I want to make myself available for any questions that the council might have or that any folks in the community might have. I want to clarify that this is permanent rental housing that's being proposed. It is not a shelter or transitional or interim housing. It is rental housing where every occupant will have a lease like any other apartment building. There's also an on-site manager who lives at the building like any other apartment building. We'll also be providing on-site supportive services at the building, and we will also have on-site 24-hour security at the building. We aren't proposing any changes to the structure, and we'd be proposing some additional landscaping to basically spruce up the property. Again, I just want to make myself available.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Ivan Sulik. I'm here representing your County Supervisor, Janice Hahn, from the County Board of Supervisors. And as my colleague from Weingart said, these are apartments that we wish to work with the City of Torrance. You know, you talked about collaboration. We want to collaborate to get individuals who are from Torrance experiencing homelessness or low income and put them inside these apartments so that they can be your neighbors. They could be voters, taxpayers, and enjoy being a part of the City of Torrance. You know, we partnered up with 3290. The average stay in that shelter, according to Harbor Interfaith, is 314 days because there's not enough affordable housing to move individuals from the shelter into housing. And so we have this proposal that's looking to finally create a streamline so that we can get people off the street from this community into housing. We want to work with the City of Torrance. We want to make sure that people from this community are in that project, and we will be here to answer any questions to you and for the community.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Paul, and I'm a manager of Golden West Tower. It's right next to Extended Stay. We share a 6-foot wall of 175 feet wide. We're already getting problems from Extended Stay guests. We're getting car vandalism. We're getting break-in units. We're getting all the problems from that guest already. I don't know, changing that to affordable housing would help us. 200 senior residents within the building. Our community is very worried, and I'm here to represent my community. And yeah, we have done security like gating, everything to prevent people from trespassing to jump over. Guest over there is always trying to jump over from Maricopa to that extended stay through our walls. And we spend a lot of money trying to be secure. but I don't know how much money we have to spend more. We have to hire security, and there's also door that senior residents take to go to Torrance Boulevard faster. And if that wall's going to be closed, I don't know if they have to go around.
Thank you.
Mark Reagans, retired street psychiatrist and former Social Services Commission member. I think the county has shown, in Norwalk's case, that they will push this over your objection, whether you do it or not, and you can delay with some suits along the way. I would urge, instead of spending money on that, use that as leverage to negotiate heavily for the problems that exist. This is something that's needed, and it will make problems. I think specifically our own housing department, which has not been actively involved with homeless people in general, should be made into the gatekeeper instead of county gatekeeper, so we can assure that it's county people, we can assure it's not a housing first agency, and assure that we have support for our own police and firemen along the way. I'm willing to assist in negotiations if they come to that.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Mary Davis. I'm a 50-year resident of Torrance. I live off of Delamo and Carson, by the other extended stay. Through COVID and the vouchers and all the stuff that you guys had promised us in regards when that happened, we had burglaries, we had a knife wielding person going house to house, we had all these issues. I understand, I'm sympathetic with all the homeless people too, but if you bring this extended stay in, for the homeless into here, it's just going to bring more issues. We have, in the last 2 or 3 months, I've seen numerous homeless people in our area. And I know all of our residents have seen numerous people. The issue too is on Pacific Coast Highway in Torrance, all those hotels and everything, you guys say, oh, they're housing the homeless and vouchers and everything. Look at all the crime, look at all the issues that we're having there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Poverty is in our community. It exists whether we want to or not. We have done so far an amazing job managing it through our incredible homelessness outreach team and through our great 3290 program. What we're doing is working, but it's also creating a bottleneck. There aren't quite enough services for everyone. If there is a place to house people, well, they no longer are homeless, are they? And the best place to house people is walkable distance to jobs and walkable distance to transit. Oops, that does happen to be us in that area. I think we should be pushing the county to keep investing in it. I think it's going to happen whether or not we want it. So let's try to make it the best it can be and try to make the most we can out of it. Thank you.
I'm Madhu Chinani from Blue Stem Hotel, and I have raised 3 kids. I'm here in Torrance for over 40 years. I think the main reason we like Torrance is such a stable and secure city, and homeless is a problem, and we all feel sorry for them. But to bring them and house them in Torrance is a detrimental to the city of Torrance in terms of all kinds of things. Your tax revenue will go down because if you're putting them right next to the Delamo Fashion, there will be more burglary, there will be more homelessness. Doesn't matter what they say, they will have a manager, they will have this. They cannot control that many people. And I think city of Torrance is such a great city. They can work out something with LA County. They can put them somewhere else.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Robert Ackerman, a 15-year Torrance resident. Thank you for the public hearing. I got to say, 24 hours is really too short to get meaningful public input on a project of this scale, and I think it's really terrible that we don't have more time to provide input. And now we're being told the property is being changed from a hotel to apartments. Is that some sort of change of use that requires a zoning change or a business license change?
If so, we should reject that proposal. I've also noticed too that extended stay America properties are becoming very popular to be converted into homeless housing. There's nothing wrong with that. They have nice built-in amenities like a kitchen, but this is not the right place for this project. So we need to help the homeless, but this is not the right location for it. Thank you.
Some people want to just make the homeless people disappear. Well, how do we do that? Give them housing. Redondo Beach has done it. They claim to have a zero effective homeless population using 4 things: the homeless court, temporary housing, outreach workers, and long-term housing. So Torrance uses 3 of those 4 tools right now. Only 1 more to go. Let's finish the job. Let's give the homeless the long-term housing they need. Let's not just stop short of reaching the success that Redondo Beach has. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Debbie Hayes. I'm with Discover Torrance, our city's Visitors Bureau. As you are well aware, in addition to attracting travelers to come to Torrance, there's been an active worldwide campaign to bring athletes, family, and fans to our city for the upcoming FIFA World Cup in 2026, Super Bowl in 27, and Olympics in 28. Torrance is the ideal location to call home, as we're just 15 minutes from LAX, freeway close to everything, safe, clean, and tucked away from the hustle and bustle. At the end of the day, our hotel accommodations offer comfortable beds to rest our heads, with lodging ranging from luxurious to quaint and cozy. It's also the city where many of our airlines stay for their layovers, creating a healthy TOT. If this project were to open in Torrance right next to a number of our hotels, directly across the street from the mall, in the hub, okay. Anyway, I think it's not in my...
Good evening, council members. I'm a resident of Torrance and in favor of supporting the Home Key program at the proposed location. Torrance is the largest city in the South Bay and the 8th largest in the county. The Home Key program provides housing for individuals experiencing risk of homelessness, especially veterans. Much of the discourse surrounding projects that are created to support those at risk of homelessness and being supported out of homelessness operate under the false assumption that those who are experiencing that risk are criminals. I feel like I must remind my neighbors that many of those who grew up and reside in our city are at risk of losing their housing. The tiny home program has proved to be a success, the main issues being that there is such a long wait list for entry due to the limited number of homes and for long-term permanent housing. Our neighbors who cannot afford the rising cost of living are essentially being told they are no longer welcome here. I think that's a shame. With Project Home Key, residents can get back on their feet, continue to be our neighbors, have access to Torrance Transit, gain employment at the Delamo Mall and surrounding commercial areas, and I hope that questions posed
Good evening, Julie Dojiri. Seniors make up 1/3 of the nation's homeless population. And with COLA going up and health care being cut, that number is going to really increase. I volunteer at Focal Point, the city's senior referral service. Request for low-income housing is always #1 each month. Most of these callers are women who are desperately calling because they cannot afford the increase in their rent for next month. And they are fearful that they will be evicted and homeless. Unfortunately, there are very, very few options for them, and most of them end up in the streets. And so Torrance really needs more low.
Hello, my name is Sonny Kang. I'm a resident of the bungalows housing right across the street from the proposed site, which is about 80% Asian and about, I don't know, a very large majority of small children, including my own. I have an autistic child that thinks everyone's his friend, totally thinks everybody's safe, everyone's cool. I don't want that around him because I don't know what happened. But anyway, Although I acknowledge the complexity of homelessness and the need for compassionate solutions, I believe that placing the housing in that neighborhood, bad idea. The Gables is right next door. That's senior living, if you guys are familiar with that, right next door. And seniors and Asians are terrified of what's happening with the homeless. I don't know if you guys remember the Asian hate crime, but it's real. And it was so real that I've all started volunteering at my church. Mayor Chen, you've been to that church before, South Bay Community Church, to help elderly walk them to their cars. And they're...
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mayor's Council. My name's Lila Omura, 22-year resident of Torrance, and I'm so grateful that you guys are even considering this with your homeless program. I've seen a huge difference in my district, and I'm so appreciative of everyone here for being bold and doing something to help our neighbors. Currently, I know of a 89-year-old Torrance woman who has lived here 38 years. And she is at the brink of homelessness right now. Her Social Security does not, the increase in Social Security, her rent keeps on going higher and higher and higher. This is her home. We need to take care of our neighbors, and I think it's amazing that we have an opportunity to partner with the county so we make sure it's our residents, Torrance residents.
Hi, I'm Tricia Blanco, and I agree. Thank you for holding this. Simply, we all probably, if you think about it, know people that are in need of housing. I had the opportunity to work with a family here in Torrance who had 3 kids in Torrance schools, and they lived for about 2 years in their car. Sometimes people sent them to the very hotel you're talking about. It's not magic, but Torrance has a great outreach program, excellent social workers that really care and chase people down in their cars to get help for people. Some homeless people are in deep need. They're never going to be fixed. Some just need housing. So yeah, I'm in favor of following through, finding out how this works, making it work. We have to take care of people. It's causing more trouble if we don't. I'd be very, very interested in whether it truly is low income. Thank you.
Hi, first of all, I sympathize for the homeless people or low-income people, but I think that's a terrible idea because the location is not correct. Because you have so many elementary schools, high school, middle schools, and then so many business here, and then there's no solid plan to control or to lay out the groundwork, the plan, how to maintain the crime and then the potential risk for children, elders, and all the neighborhood, and then the people are gonna drive people out. And the tax revenue gonna tank. Everybody gonna notice that whoever inferior is gonna hey, you guys bring the homeless shelter back to Torrance. So solving homeless people is deeply in my heart. I really want to solve that, but this is just the wrong location. And then we don't have enough time to discuss that. Friday evening before a long weekend, and then we're gonna vote next Tuesday. There's no public, no enough time for public to get their input in this. This is too rushed.
Hi, my name is Marian. I'm totally against this location. If anything, in Torrance, actually. Our Coptic Orthodox church is right down the street. It's a block away. This is the church that we are there every day. Our kids are there playing, Sunday school, youth groups. It is supposed to be a safe place for our families. This is super close. We've already had problems with transients who wander into church, steal stuff, and threaten us. So with this that close, this is a huge liability to the city. I really don't understand how this is happening so fast, but please protect our kids. Again, this is our home, that church. We are there day and night. Actually, right now I'm going to youth group again with my kids. We need this to be a safe area for everybody. Please relocate this, if not at all in Torrance. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Eric. I've been a resident here for 40 years. I live about a 2-minute walk with my 3 children from this proposed site, and I just want to reiterate that it's a total disgrace that you did this 12 hours before a 3-day weekend on Friday. It's pathetic that we have to come here with no information and make our case this late. It's disgusting. I live right there. There's already homeless all over the place. We're constantly calling the police. It's going to impact the price and the value of homes. It's right next to parks and schools. Nobody said anything about what they're going to do to regulate drug use or alcohol use, or if there's going to be even a curfew. This is completely irresponsible, and I expect every member on this council to vote no on this BS. Because I'd be very surprised if anybody on this side of the aisle lives anywhere close to this disaster. Vote no.
Hi, I'm Doug Shive. I've been with LA County Sheriffs since 1989. And one thing I'm sure you guys are catching on here is not one person has stepped forward and said, I live close to there and I think it's a great idea. We don't know where these people that are pro, they don't live anywhere near there. Of course not. All they're thinking is, oh, that's a great spot because I don't live there. But please pay attention to all these business owners, the people that go to the local churches, and what they're going to be impacted. I tried to get in uniform, tried to get some information about the little skeets that are behind the courthouse. Oh, they stopped me. They treated me like I was some criminal. All I asked for is I wanted your rules. The people back there are not locals. They're from Skid Row. So we need to pay attention. It all sounds nice and rosy. Everyone wants to help someone unless they're living in your backyard. So please consider that.
Kind of echo on the short notice. I think there's some needs to be more information about, okay, this unit's going to be 120, but tomorrow is whatever the foundation is going to buy the hotel next to that, Needs to be some commitment from the county that there will be a limit to this stuff. The other thing, as the gentleman said, is there what's the screening process for these folks? Will the city have an input into that? Will the city be able to go in and inspect and see what's going on there? And just seems there's a lot of unanswered questions about how this is going to work.
Hi there. I do live really close. I'm a couple blocks away from the proposed location. I have a 1-year-old son, and I am very much in favor of this. It does seem like it is kind of last minute, but I think part of it is because the city and council we're not in charge of what the county does. So it seems like that is part of the timing. But the other half is that, like, it's been too late for years. These people have been struggling, and they are now unhoused, which doesn't mean that they're unsafe. It means that we need to help them. So while this location may not be ideal for some, I'd say either propose a new location, because they have to go somewhere. They have to be in Torrance. And I just say, like, make sure that that is the focus of this, we have a problem that exists. We have these people. They are human beings, not all criminals, not all people that you need to be afraid of. I feel safe that my son will live near this space, and just wanted to say, enjoy.
Okay, I'm a 30-year resident of the city of Torrance. I work downtown Los Angeles, and when I heard this was on the agenda, I came running, and I did everything the gentleman previously before me said. This is a project that is very much needed. I know there's a lot of fear. People don't understand the issue. People don't understand the housing. But this is an opportunity to work with Weingart Center Association. They know what they're doing. They've been doing this for years. Let's talk about the screening process. Let's talk about security. They promise 24/7 security. That's amazing. So let's work with them and make this project work. Thank you.
This is a brochure that the city of Torrance produces for the homeless. And this particular page I'm showing you is resources. The last two I'm not familiar with, but the rest of them, of 6 of them, 4 of them have incorrect information on them as far as the times of the meal. This city, I had a lot of interaction with the city of Corona, with their homeless problem, with their PD, city council, and the city manager's office. And you guys are so unbelievably awful with communicating with the homeless people. And this brochure is a great example of it.
Good afternoon. My name is Mary, and I'm a 34-year resident of Torrance. I live in Old Torrance, the only house I've ever lived in this long. I'm very concerned about the homeless crisis, and in particular with the County of Los Angeles in charge. They have squandered $2 billion on dealing with this issue, and I would hate to have them squander a dime in this city, because I believe truly in my heart they don't know what they're doing, and until they can prove that they can be a successful player in this homelessness problem, I would say no. Thank you.
My name is Jan Cleverdon. I'm a registered nurse, and I know Lila, who's done a lot of great work in Redondo Beach. I am for this program done responsibly, especially because I've seen a lot of senior citizens that have been homeless, that are women, that have had attacks, that have had things stolen from them, especially for this population. I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's right to say that all homeless people are violent or criminals, just like it's not right to say all people that come into the United States are violent or criminals just because they're foreigners. I think we shouldn't judge either way, because not all homeless people are criminals. And I've seen a lot sleep in their car with their families, with their kids, and I think these people generally need help, and they will not be bad for the community. So I think if it's done responsibly, I'm all for this program.
Hi, good evening. I'm the resident in the gated beach bungalow community across the street from this project. And we lived here for more than 10 years, and my kids grew up in this community. This is a very walkable community neighborhood. My kids can walk to the library, walk to the plunge to take the swim lesson. And so no one wants to ignore the fact that homeless people are suffering, but we just think that it's a bad idea to put this project in this location, because this is close. This is the heart of Torrance, and it's also a great area for the residents community here. So we think it would be wise to still use the money, but put it in another location. Thank you.
Anyone else who has not spoken, wish to speak on this item, please come up to the microphone.
All right, I am not for this at all. The homeless, yes, it is a huge problem. The homeless housing that is right up the road that they're in, they've already destroyed it. So it's ridiculous. But when police are called, they can't do anything because there they are. But they need help, but they're near schools. Move it industrial. It's away from the schools, away from the parks, so kids can actually get outside and away from a screen. That's it.
Yes, hi. I'm George Michael. I'm a member of the church next to the building we're discussing, and everyone sitting here, what I have heard, concern about homeless. Yes, it's true. We all should be concerned. The problem is the location. We have to put in consideration liabilities. We have children in church. Everyone said about the Delamo Mall, gas station employees, stores next to the building. The location is important. This is not the right location. Thank you.
Okay, I think we appreciate all the folks who spoke and reiterate there was no intention to call this meeting at the last minute. City staff and us found out yesterday, and we actually called the meeting at the last minute so that you could get it before the public. It's not because we intentionally did something at the last minute, and we are just as concerned of the situation. And, okay, now we'll come back to the council. Councilwoman Lewis.
Thank you, Mayor. And I apologize in advance for my voice. I think there's a lot of misinformation that has been circulated in the meeting, and it is because of the time constraints that we were placed under for this meeting. As Mayor says, we are trying to do everything that we can to make sure that there's community input for this. But as public servants, I think we're all dedicated to compassion and accountability and working to address the crisis of homelessness here in the city of Torrance. Project Home Key, along with the Weingart Center, has a fantastic reputation of operating permanent apartment housing. I think we've heard a lot about folks confusing that this is going to be a temporary homeless shelter. This is going to be also connected with 3290. These are two completely separate things. The Weingart Center has done these projects in the past with full service wraparound services, which is an important tool. Again, I think we should also say that this is not a homeless shelter. This is permanent supportive housing for those who are unhoused. And I think a lot of what we are hearing for the community is the education piece between the unhoused and those who are mentally ill and have substance abuse issues. That needs to be a separate conversation, a separate facility to house those individuals. I think I need to say it for a third time. No one on this council, in this dais, or in this city gets to make a decision of whether this happens or not. We are here so we can get the public input on the position that the city is going to take on this. And when I mean position, I mean after this is all over and the vote is taken, we are voting on what to put in the letter to submit to the county, which any one of you can do. When I checked the county website for the agenda item that's coming up on Tuesday for public comment under this agenda items, there were 0 comments. So if you want input on the county meeting, you can either come here on Tuesday and go downtown and sit with, I think some of us on the dais will be attending that meeting and put in your comment, public comment, or you can also go online and make your public comment to the people who are actually the decision makers, which is the LA County Board of Supervisors. I have been a follower of Project Home Key. I am not, and I repeat, a fan of this location. As much as it is needed here in Torrance, I think that this particular location is not ideal for where it needs to go. This is a business district. I would like to leave it as a business and civic center community project district. I'm not against the project. I think that we should just find a better location in our community for the project. Torrance has always been consistently willing to show that we are part of the homeless solution. We have an outstanding outreach team that has been built over a number of years that started with one person, one single person, and then it grew. And then now we have a team of people because that's just the condition that we are right now. That's the state of where we are. I have some significant concerns over the impact of what it's going to do to our local resources, and who will be ultimately responsible for that, which will be the city, because these will be 120 permanent residents that are going to be here. So it's just like any other apartment complex that's currently being built all over the city. If any of you are familiar with the housing element, City of Torrance has got to either show we can build or actually build almost 6,000 units of housing in Torrance. And this is a step forward that will count to those. We have a whole lot of unanswered questions about how the project's going to be implemented, how the support systems will do, how we're going to measure the long-term success. And I can only hope that when the decision is made by the County Board of Supervisors, that we can all engage in whatever meaningful dialogue that means between us and the City of Torrance, because even if the application doesn't go through, we're still going to have this dialogue. And we have to ensure that our housing initiatives here in Torrance are accompanied by the necessary resources, including wraparound services and sustained oversight and collaboration from our community. Again, we want to continue to be committed to being a part of the housing solutions here that our community is facing, but it must reflect our shared values of local control, thoughtful planning, community input, and the right locations for a facility such as this. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Kaji.
Thank you, Your Honor. First of all, I want to state for the record, I am completely against this. And here's why. Let me explain why. First of all, by way of background, my family had significant investments, real estate investments and businesses in the Little Tokyo district of downtown Los Angeles, which is right next to Skid Row. And so our family was there for probably almost 100 years. My grandfather was a medical doctor. We had a savings and loan. We had properties which we own, which we leased out to businesses in the area. Skid Row was always a neighbor, but the residents of Skid Row at that time were completely different than they are now. And as a result of failed policies by both the county and the city, our family made a tough decision. We sold all of our investments in Little Tokyo. And you know why? Because of this incursion by Skid Row into Little Tokyo. There's people now who use the term Skid Rokyo and are building these types of housing and wraparound services in the heart of Little Tokyo. And I've seen what that's done to businesses in the Japanese American community. Most of them have pulled out. They're not in Little Tokyo anymore. No one lives in Little Tokyo anymore. They moved to places like Torrance and Orange County and other places that are safe. So I've seen in real time what it's like to coexist with the homeless, but also I've seen in real time what happens when that growth gets out of control. Number two, looking at what is Extended Stay of America? It's not a single owner who owns that property. Back in 2021, Blackstone and Starwood Capital, some of the largest private equity firms in the world, made a conscious choice and bought Extended Stay America for $6 billion. Now guess what? They're in the business to make money, right? Now why would they be selling this asset? Well, of course, they see an opportunity. Back in 2008, a lot of these firms went in and started buying up single-family homes in places like Las Vegas, and guess what? They turned them into an asset class, an investable asset class to lease out, like apartments. They made a ton of money because the market after the crash was at a bottom. They could buy it on the cheap. But what I see here is a group like Blackstone and Starwood, having rolled up all these assets, they're now selling them. And why? Well, there's billions of dollars going to fund homeless outreach programs and homeless housing. So there's money involved. And if some of you have heard the term homeless industrial complex, I think you should spend time and research on where the money's going. Lastly, I think it's irresponsible for the county to come here and state that we have a great model, and we want the city of Torrance to take this model and place it in the heart of your community. To me, what that represents is a failed model. What we've done at 3290 with our 40 tiny homes is successful, not only because we can see the residents, we can check in with them, but we know how the money's spent. And that's what led me and others on the council to approve renewing the contract to keep it going, because we are protecting people, we are saving lives. But the county and the state of California can't tell me and can't convince me that they're being prudent with the billions of dollars in taxpayer money that has gone into providing homeless or housing first. That doesn't work. It's failed. Maybe we have to do something in reverse. We have to take our Torrance model and teach those above us how it should really be done. But I am against this, both on a personal level. From a business standpoint, I wanted to expose that to the residents here so that you know as we go to next Tuesday, and when the county published the agenda just a few days ago, it took us all by surprise. We had to scramble to get this. This is the only opportunity to have a public meeting for people in Torrance. It wasn't us. We didn't, but we scrambled because we wanted to make sure we heard from you before we get on those buses and go downtown on Tuesday. So for all these reasons, I am totally against this, and I would urge the other council members to also be against this too. Thank you.
Councilwoman Kalani?
Thank you, Mayor. I actually have some questions, if that's acceptable to the representatives of the county that are here. As my previous two council members said, this has been out of our control. It's something that's happening very quick, the Tuesday after a 3-day weekend. I'm in 100% support of compassionately helping the unhoused, but I think it needs to be a conversation. So my question right now is there a way to pull this from the agenda on Tuesday night to give us an opportunity to come to the table and talk about this, which would include potentially other locations, understanding what exactly that building's going to be used for? Would it be 75% 55 and over low-income individuals? Would it be 20% low income? Will it be 10% transitional? How is this really going to be managed? What is the real truth behind this? Because we only know last minute what we're being told. And it looks like a done deal to me. So if I could ask that question, is this a done deal, and is there an opportunity to pull this, sit down, and talk about it?
Councilwoman Kalani, would that be directed to the Weingart representative or Evan from the county?
The county.
Okay, that'll be Evan.
Someone that has the ability to just slow this down and
Ivan.
give us an opportunity to
Right.
speak about it.
Sorry, Ivan. I called you Evan.
Sorry.
Thank you, council member, for that question. So, as of right now, I would have to communicate back to the board of to Supervisor Hahn, that intention of her to make if she would want to make that motion at the board meeting. But as of right now, we are moving forward with this application, the application to the state for this project.
So is it a done deal?
It's not a done deal because in the end, this is just an application to the state. So the state still has to review and even approve. So there is a possibility that might not happen. And so solely what we're doing on Tuesday is just approving an application to go to the state for the funds.
Is there, I guess I'll ask again, is there an opportunity to stop this right now to come to the table, to engage the city so we understand what's happening, so we can help you use these funds in an area that could be more appropriate than the heart of our business district.
I understand. I would have to talk to the supervisor before I can make that public answer to that, because I have to confer with the supervisor.
Okay. How would we know that, or should we call? Is there? I did place a call to her, by the way.
Right. As soon as we're done with the meeting, we will confer with the supervisor. We will immediately reach back out to you.
Okay. In respect of the time, I'll yield my time to another council member that wants to speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ivan. Councilman Sheikh.
Thank you, Mayor. Ivan, can you stay for a couple more questions, please? Thanks. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I think what you are doing right now, it's so important for this specific project. And I want to thank you for being here, either or against this project. What I'm hearing from each and every one, everybody is passionate about this. The issue is the location. Torrance has done so much for homelessness issue. We are the exemplary city. What we have done, no other city has done. And Supervisor Janice Hahn knows that very well. We are an exemplary city with so many different ways. The project that we embark upon, we have for the last 2.5 years, has done so much good for the entire community and for the region. And this issue is a regional issue. This important matter is, right now, what I'm hearing is a lot of misunderstanding, misconception that you may not be able to, a great recommendation by Councilwoman Kalani to ask you to table this and have a chance to have a dialogue with us, with the council and the leaders and other community members. Right now, what matters is take this back to the entire board and request them to give us a chance to work out and find a location that we are okay to have this place, these many individuals. I would not want to have no collaboration with the city. Ben said earlier, you said earlier, there's a collaboration, and we need, the way that was brought to this agenda, we were not told anything about it, which I am very surprised, and I'm very, honestly, I'm very, the word I want to use is not professional. I mean, Janice Hahn has been so professional, but having this project in the heart of our city and having no connection that this is coming to the agenda is really disappointing. So we would like you to please table this, bring it back some other, so we can have a collaboration and work out a possible good solution that will work for both of us. We have been doing a lot, and we continue to do our part. But when you say that, we have heard that so many times, that if you do good, if you do more, you get more work. But this is a regional problem. Work with us and come up with a solution, not in the heart. You heard so many comments. And again, I'm going to reiterate, we are okay to do our part that we have been doing, but we want you to reconsider location. Question to you is that, how did that come into agenda? Which person who took the lead and put in on the agenda for this project on the board? I just wanted to have a clear understanding.
So we released an RFP, request for funding proposals, out for the different providers and hotel owners, because in the end, the hotel owner and the nonprofit came to the county. They came to us. And so we then had a scoring. It went through our public cluster meeting at the Board of Supervisors, and then from there was posted on the agenda to just submit the application. You know, and if I may, we did inform the city of our intention to move forward on this project. months ago.
When was that?
When we met in San Pedro, and then we subsequently met with your staff, your city manager and your staff. That it was our intention to move forward with this project, and we did, and we, in those both times, have stated our intention to wanting to work with the city of Torrance as we move forward with this proposal.
City manager, you have some comment?
With all due respect to Mr. Solik, the county noticed the city about a year ago about this potential site. Staff shared concerns that you've heard tonight with the supervisor's office, and that conversation ended there. A few months ago, I think there was another attempt to notify the city of this potential application. Once again, staff made the sentiments known, and that was the last of the communication up until Wednesday, when I was noticed that this item will be forthcoming. I noticed the mayor and council, and the request was made to agendize the meeting for this discussion. And again, as shared by council, we appreciate our partnership with the county. We have a very reliable supervisor that's been an advocate for Torrance and the funding of 3290. Credit is what credit is due. But had staff been clearly notified that the intention to file the application, as you know, with full disclosure, this conversation would have happened earlier. And we do, as mentioned by council, and I'll look at Ivan, we continue our commitment to engage and seek options to continue to create permanent supportive housing throughout Torrance, since there is a legitimate need. But the timing of this just didn't provide us that ample opportunity to engage in meaningful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. I think there must be a couple more questions, Evan. So can you explain to us the selection of this specific location? How did that come about?
I believe, and actually maybe this is a Weingart question, actually, because
Sure.
the hotel owner reached out to Weingart and then from there through the through the RFP through Project Home Key Plus, then came to the county. But I'll let Ben answer that.
Ben, yes. Quickly, if you could, please. I just want to understand when there's a collaboration, when there's understanding between the city and others, there should be some transparency. Why this? Because you have other location from other cities. The other locations are not the heart of other cities. We have been, this selection has been done in the heart of our city, and again, the location, it doesn't make sense to have that location. I cannot emphasize enough that everyone here, go for or not, location is a problem. And if you want a successful project, there should be a better location. And I think we have a lot of other locations. And if you could please elaborate.
Sure. So the county issued a request for proposals. This site was brought to us as a potential site for the Home Key program, which is really geared to convert hotels into permanent supportive housing. So, and the extended stay sites are really ideal because the units already have kitchens in them. So the renovation costs are substantially lower than a hotel that doesn't have a kitchen in it. Totally understand the concerns about the location. Some of the items that the community brings up actually make it a good location for apartment housing. And there are apartments in the community. And the residents who live there would be able to benefit from some of the amenities in the community as well. I also just want to point out that what's being proposed by the county is authority to submit an application, a funding application, and that this is not something that's proposed to happen next week or tomorrow. There is still time to meet with the community, get input, and understand how we can make sure that we are addressing the concerns of the community, whether it's security or who's going to live at the site, what is the screening process. there's time to have all those conversations and get all that information out. So it's not like what's being proposed is to start this project next week. That's not what's being proposed. So I just want to clarify that. I also want to clarify, we only had a minute, that the opportunity for local preference and local control over the screening and who actually comes to live at the building does exist. And there is a local preference option, particularly if we partner with the city of Torrance and Torrance helps fund the operating subsidy. They can actually exert complete control and do the screening themselves through their own housing authority. So,
Okay, so
just wanted to clarify that. So, I'll pause there.
all right, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Councilman Matucci. All right.
Thank you, Mayor. You might want to come back to the mic, sir. Respectful. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to ask those in the chamber just to allow us to have the dialogue here. Thank you.
I realize there's a concern for the homeless. As a matter of fact, in June of 2019, I'm the one that brought to council the idea of a homeless plan. That homeless plan evolved into the 40 little tiny homes, plus all the outreach programs, and also the building of relationships, both with the county, the state. So I think Torrance has done a fabulous job of tackling this issue. What I'm kind of upset about, extremely upset about, I should say, is the lack of communication with this particular project, the lack of communication with the public, because, we found out about this application or this item going on the agenda basically a couple days ago, and we rushed and scrambled to put it on the agenda. I don't think that's really operating in good faith. So now you have individuals from our community coming here. Some of them are upset at us, rightfully so. We are, I guess, stuck in the middle here, right? I can only speak for myself. I'm somewhat, I guess, in a way offended by the fact that we've built such a great relationship with the county, and yet we've had zero communication saying that even though twice, on 2 occasions from what I hear, we told you that that particular site was a concern, yet you guys went ahead and put it on the agenda to go move ahead and send out an application, which we all know the application, once it goes to the state and they come back and say, yes, you have the money, that project is moving forward. Completely knocking us out of the conversation. I think Councilwoman Kalani's suggestion to table it and come back to the table and communicate with us and let us know what the plans are instead of, really, I feel like we've been kind of blindsided with this project. I'm not opposed to the program. I think it's a great program. I think it fits right into what we're trying to do. The bottlenecking, I heard some gentlemen say the bottlenecking, that's happening. I know because we see the reports. There's a lack of affordable housing, and I get that. But to just plop something in without even consulting with us or the community, because we're a representation of the community, I think it's just working in just bad faith. And I would ask that you make the phone call tonight to the supervisor or supervisors and request to table it, because if that application goes out, I can imagine the community is going to be really upset at us. They're going to be really upset at the county supervisors. And quite honestly, I think it's just a really horrible representation of what you guys should be doing. Communicate with the public. before making these decisions, because it sounds to me that the decision's already been made and we weren't part of the conversation. That's not good, you know? So I respectfully ask that you go back and get concurrence to table that item Tuesday night, and I think it's a great opportunity to come back to the table, and let's talk about other locations. We're 21 square miles, the city. We're all in on trying to help with the problem. I think we've proven that since June of 2019, is that we're all in on helping out. But this is just not the way to do it, to just blindside us and let us know that, oh, well, they're gonna vote on it on Tuesday night and an application is gonna go out to the state. It sounds to me that a lot of work was done without consulting with the city. And that's my position, and I'm completely against this, 100%, because of the location, not because of the program, the location. So, that's all I have to say. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Gerson.
First, comment for the public to know that most of you know I'm a teacher. And so, you know, when the text message came in, are you available Friday for a special emergency meeting? I was teaching, so I didn't see the text message. But when a phone call comes from the city attorney, I always get a little nervous and immediately pick up. And are you available for a special meeting Friday, because there's a meeting at the county on Tuesday? So this moved very quick. And I want to thank my colleagues as well for all of us opening up our Friday night before a 3-day weekend to come here to discuss this issue, because it is important to the residents of Torrance, no matter which side of the issue you're on. And so this was a rush. I want to thank everyone who also cleared time in your schedules to come and also join us, and deeply appreciate when the community comes out. We have an amazing city staff. The city manager's office is full of highly intelligent, highly competent, and highly compassionate people. And when I'm hearing, what I'm hearing from them tonight and the public is hearing is true and genuine, and their concern creates concern in me, because I do have great faith in them. Because of the notice a few months ago that this project was under consideration, I do have an open request with Supervisor Han's office about what were next steps, what was happening next, and I was told that that I would hear. And so I was not given any notice or any awareness that this was going to be placed on the agenda, because as Councilmember Matucci said, which I agree with, is if state funding passes, that's it. You're not going to say no to money. It's very rare that someone turns away such a large amount of money. And so I do feel, as my colleagues do, that surprising all of this with this agenda item shows a lack of desire, even though, sir, you did say that you want to work with the City of Torrance collaboratively, but this was an opportunity, and by going around and not informing the city that this was coming on the agenda feels very deceptive. And so I will be siding with all of my colleagues tonight that this agenda needs to. My request also that this agenda item be pulled and that the supervisor's office takes the time to meet with city staff and any necessary council members for us to be able to truly see your desire for collaboration on such a project. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Kalani.
Thank you, Mayor. You might want to stay. You might. I know you've been standing a while. I'm sorry, and I just want to once again request that you table this till we have an opportunity. I know that supervisor. I value what she does very much. I know there's been some really successful transitions of hotels into housing, the veterans housing in San Pedro. Wonderful, wonderful situation. There's been a transition in Whittier of a Motel 6 to housing near a high school and
across the street. Mm-hmm.
Right across the street. And I might be wrong, but even the high school says that the neighbors are even better than the guests that they used, the short-term guests that they used to have there, and there's other projects as well. So I know this can work, but we don't know what we don't know. Please table it, give us an opportunity to help you find other locations that could be even better. Give us an opportunity to understand exactly what the project's gonna be. I wish you could make that call and help us know before we leave tonight. I can't support this because I don't know what I don't know.
I hear you, Councilwoman, and I'll go back to the supervisor, and I will, as soon as I find out, I will pass the message on to the council.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Kaji.
Thank you for the discussion by my fellow council members. I too would like to see this motion or this agenda item tabled by the Board of Supervisors. However, if it's not tabled and it remains on the agenda and the Board of Supervisors approve this, I believe that the city needs to take a position also that we will seek whatever legal remedies are possible, including injunctive relief, and to seek, and if necessary, rather than go to the state level, we should consider going to the federal level. Whatever it takes to get the attention of the Board of Supervisors that if they're going to do this, they better do it right. They shouldn't try and steer it around the community. They shouldn't exempt this from CEQA and public hearings. If you want a partnership with our community, great, let's have a partnership. But you don't steer it around us. You don't pull it right at the beginning of a Memorial Day weekend and shock us all like this. And it's not good faith. There's a lot of bad faith that's been created now. And unless you restore that faith and you communicate that to the supervisor, I think we have to seek whatever remedies are available. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Lewis.
I just have a quick question, just for my clarification.
Yes, Councilwoman.
On the legitimacy of pulling it from there. Are you under a deadline for the application? Can you take me through the timeline so I can understand it better while we're here on a Friday at the beginning of a weekend?
Yes, Councilwoman.
And a holiday?
I believe, Ben, did you want to go to the timeline?
Yeah, so the applications are due next week, and that is why an action is needed in order.
Can you tell me when it was? I guess I need a timeline. I need a timeline for me, right? Because I'm here on a Friday. I'm ticked off of how all of this kind of went down. I've been in public service for a very long time, and I know when they release an RFP for something like that, it's done months in advance, not days, not weeks. So can someone, one of the two of you, or together if you want, take me through the timeline of where we are and why we are here at 6 o'clock on a Friday night before a holiday weekend?
I don't have the exact dates in my head, but I can give a rough outline. The county RFP to select sites to then apply to the state was put out probably 2 months ago or so. Would be, again, I can't remember the exact date.
Well,
but
I think you have somebody that can help you out.
No, I believe, I don't have the
okay.
exact date in my mind. Or
Okay.
I would've stepped in.
I need somebody to walk me through this because I don't even know why we're here.
So the county RFP was issued 2 to 3 months ago. We submitted a proposal. That proposal is reviewed for approximately a month or so before it's determined which ones will be selected by the county through their RFP, their competitive RFP process. So we found out that this project was intended to be selected maybe 3 to 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or so. So it's Home Key, I'll agree with you that the timeline is too short. This has been one of the challenges with Home Key, but that is the approximate timeline.
So interesting that you say that because before I came down here, and thanks to our team upstairs, pulled down the application that you're gonna submit it. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects, and one actually got pulled off. And this is about, and I'm not a math major at all, but this is about, I want to say, close to $300 or $400 million worth of projects on this one document right here. With Palmdale being taken off for a new construction for $20 million. So, I mean, if this is the way that we're doing Home Key, I understand why we're up to the $1 or $2 billion worth of money that can't be accounted for, if we're doing it like this. So if I understand correctly, what you're saying is, if you don't move forward with this, there's no time to pull it off the agenda. Is that what I'm understanding? Is that what you're telling me? There's really no time for this application to be pulled from the county agenda?
No, I'm not saying that. There is time that it could potentially be pulled off. Again, I would have to go back to the supervisor and confer with her.
Okay, so we're just not gonna know this before Tuesday, basically?
I'm not necessarily. Again, I have to go back to the supervisor in the executive office that controls the agenda
Yeah.
to see if there's a possibility per what the council members have requested that I do.
So that's what I'm trying to get to. Take me through this
So
time.
wait, the Palmdale one was taken off. So once the RP goes out, our Department of our LECDA, our LA County Development Agency, in partnership with our CEO Homeless Initiative, does the review. They have a scoring system. They scored the top projects, and then from there, it's submitted to the chair's office. The chair's office then submits it to what we call a cluster. You know, I'm not familiar with the processes of the city council, but it's sort of like a subcommittee. In the county, we have something called clusters: operations, homelessness, community services, that take in motions and programs before then they're commented on by the appointed deputies that the supervisors have. Like myself, I am the homeless and housing deputy, so I sit on the homeless and housing cluster. Then we make comments on motions and policies that then are put up to the Board of Supervisors for their consideration. That pull-off was done via the cluster meeting, and the appropriate supervisor who represents that was involved in that process. I'm not familiar, but since that project was in their district. But then then that's how it then is scheduled for the 27th once that process is done.
Okay, no disrespect, but I'm just as confused as I was before I asked the question.
Okay, I apologize.
What I'm asking you for is, or I'm trying to figure out, if this project gets pulled from the agenda on Tuesday.
Yes.
Does the county lose its opportunity to submit the application to the state?
For this round, yes, for this round of Home Key.
So, and then when's the
deadline,
next round?
I believe it's next week. I'm sorry.
That's what he said earlier, that the deadline's next week. When's the next round, and what does the next round look like?
The state has not announced that there'll be a next round as of yet. The state waits literally until almost the last minute to then announce funding availability, and that then there's a new round of Home Key. We don't know ahead of time if there will be a new round.
Okay, so this is not something that happens on an annual basis?
No, but it has happened repeatedly because of funding availability, but it's not a guaranteed it's going to happen every year. We have to wait until the state puts it out.
So if we were to pull one location off the application, could the rest of the application move forward?
I don't have an answer to that question. I would think so, but I would have to talk to the executive office to get an exact.
And I understand, but that's going to be one of the things that I recommend on Tuesday, is that, you know, if you want to forward the application so the other projects aren't in jeopardy, move forward. But I'm hopeful that we can pull this location off the application at this time. Thank you.
It looks like my colleagues are ready for a motion, and I guess before we do that, I just want to clarify what the city manager said earlier. Actually, I was on that first Zoom call, I think, probably with the both of you, with Supervisor Hahn. At the time, it was an inquiry of interest or no interest. It wasn't it wasn't a question of we're going to do this. It was just interest and no interest. And I believe my city staff would know that I was pretty clear, no interest, that this is not
That is correct,
good
Your Honor.
location. And I suggested Supervisor Hahn and her staff at the time, I don't know if you were even on there, Ivan, that she actually look at a project in northern San Diego County area called Sunbreak Ranch, which seems like a much better idea for address things like this. Okay, are you ready for a motion, Councilman Sheikh?
No, just
Oh,
just a comment here. Thank you, Mayor. Just want to say the same thing. I think we met, just full disclosure. We did meet with you and Supervisor Hahn, and it was a discussion, and you were supposed to come back to us. You were going to give us a tour for one of your facilities, and we were just waiting on that. So I just want to make sure that was the intention, and we did not have any clarity what was the project going to be. Thanks. Thanks, Mayor.
all right, I think Councilwoman Kalani has a motion.
Thank you, Mayor. I believe that I can speak with all of us. I've listened carefully. I'd like to make a motion that we send a strong message to the supervisor regarding the meeting, that we are not in favor of the location in Torrance being part of this vote, that it be polled if possible, that as a city, we want to work compassionately on this issue. We want to get together and speak about other locations, possibly in the city of Torrance, but ways Torrance can collaborate with the county. But a strong message that we are not in support of this location in Torrance being the right place to do this.
I second that with the addition that we also include on there that the city of Torrance should not take on any of the financial operational impacts for the community shall this application go forward. I would like to add that if that's okay to your motion.
That's okay. I'm just wanting to be confident that it won't get that far, but yes.
Start voting, please. Your Honor, that motion carried unanimously.
Thank you. And I think
Mayor, can you
that-
clarify for the public?
Okay, I think that means that we as a city will be drafting up an official letter to the county supervisors that we oppose the project, and it's possible that if they push forward, if it's possible that we can be removed from the group of 5, so that they could, if they have to submit, they could send it as a group of 4, and that we would like to be in the discussion in the future.
And Your Honor, if I may, based on council's action, we'll also be utilizing all available city social media outlets to share this information, and also encourage the public to engage between now and next Tuesday to share their comments to the Board of Supervisors. If there is movement, as Mr. Simon was requested, Mr. Solik was requested, we will then utilize those messages over the weekend to share any updates to the community.
Great. Thank you very much. So I'll take a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Mayor, quick question.
Oh.
Question. I think, Aram, I think you raised a good point. So let's see if we do not hear from the representatives from here till Tuesday. What is the next step? Are we going to announce?
945 Regional Transit Center.
Yes. So please, yeah, I just want to make sure that we, all of us should be there to go and attend the meeting. Thanks.
If community wishes to come either way and express their sentiments, and we'll utilize, again, social media outlets over the weekend to share updates if they become available. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Make sure I get the date right. I move that we adjourn the city council meeting until Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025 at 5 p.m. for a closed session with regular business commencing at 6:30 p.m. in the Leroy J. Jackson Council Chamber.
Second.
Start voting, please. Your Honor, that motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And I just want to thank all the residents and all those who participated, sharing your interest and your passion, and we'll see you next time. Bye now. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.